Good morning, everybody. It is the time, I have no idea. It's just after 6 a.m. I believe, and it is Tuesday the 25th of January 2022. And here I'm going to try and show you this ridiculous tar situation. The light's still not great, but in between the tread it is absolutely caked with tar, and yesterday, because it was so hot, even after I'd ridden through it, because the tar kind of liquefies and turns into a glue when it's really hot. So it's just collected everything. Now, it looks a bit clean here now because I've been riding on just a sealed road for a bit. So that's the back right wheel. Here's the back right wheel of the quad. As you can see, it's just collecting absolutely everything through here. And here's the front one, straight in through there. Now, the idea this morning is, hang on, I'll just talk to you and pan around. So I'm here at Longwarry. Give you an idea, there's the Longwarry Hotel over there. It's a kids' playground. Here's a little barbecue gazebo-y thing, and I'm just sitting over there having my morning coffee. And they're parked up on this little netball basketball hoop thing. I didn't camp in that exact spot last night. I was down there in between that bush and another tree back there, and there's a toilet block right there which came in very handy because, for obvious reasons. And yeah, so it's just a bit of a kids' playground, and over there through behind that tree in front of you and behind the playground is a general store. There's the Longwarry train station in through there. Now I'm going to spin it around. Hang on a sec. Okay, so the plan this morning after I finish my coffee is to make my way down to the service station. Got a Hungry Jack's there as well or something. Don't worry, I won't be going in there. If you're familiar with the area, you'll know which service station I'm talking about. I hope they have a pressure washer, like car wash thing there, you know, the self-service ones. And I want to get there before the heat of the day reactivates the tar on the wheels. Because once that gets activated, this is what the thoughts are. Once it gets activated, it may be a lot more difficult to gurney out. At the moment, it's cold. Well, when I say cold, it's not hot. The sun hasn't come out and heated up the tyres or the road yet. So I'm hoping that it's a little bit more solid, and with high pressure, it may kind of chip it and push it out, sort of thing. We're going to try that anyway. It feels wonderful in the imagination when I think about it like that. So hopefully that's what's going to happen. If not, I'll try the engine degrees of the selection thing or the car tyre thing, and then leave it on for a few minutes and then try again. So first port of call is to just use the gurney gun, the pressure washer by itself, and see how we go there. I've also, somebody chimed in or something, or I read somewhere that after a while, just by riding it, eventually the tar will just chip away and come off itself. The issue with that is, I'm sure that is what happens, and I believe I read that about car tyres, is that the next week and a half or thereabouts, every single day is 30 plus degrees. So there's going to be no reprieve from hot roads or just sun on the tyres. So it's got to come off, man, because it's just, there's this, it's not that you're just going slow, but it picks up everything. Everything, man, like twigs and sticks, and then it spins them around and they go through the mudguard, and it's an absolute nightmare, mate. And then there's this weird sticky clacking sound. It's really hard to describe, but it's kind of like, I don't know, it's like chewing gum being elasticized, and then there's a clackingness, like a really, really sticky, clacky sound. That drives you nuts as well. So anyway, I had a pretty good sleep last night. I had an unexpected visitor last night. Now, I don't remember what the time was because I was busy editing and uploading this, and then proof watching it before I uploaded it onto YouTube. Anyway, I heard this, "Hi, how are you?" And like, I didn't see this person because I was around the other side of the rig. And you know, instantly you're working it out in your psychology. How is the tonality of voice? You know, it didn't seem to be an authoritarian type "how are you" kind of thing. Like, didn't sound like the authorities. It just sounded like someone walking past late at night, after 10 o'clock or something. And it was some young girl, I won't tell you her name, out for a bit of a nightly stroll, would you believe it, folks? With a twist. She was vacating somewhere where she was living, and it was under duress or something went down, and she was basically going for a walk to get away from there because the fuzz were on their way. Sorry to call you guys the fuzz, but I'm trying to sound street cred. And so I had a bit of a chat to her, and then some police cars went past here and there, and I started getting concerned for me in terms of, oh geez, you know, I've welcomed certain doom here. I might get told to move on, and the only other place I could think to go was to that service station, which is a few kilometres down the road. It's not a big deal, but you know, I prefer not to travel at night, kind of thing. Anyway, this young lady reassured me that, oh no, you'll be quite right where you are. They won't hassle you, and she was right. We didn't get hassled at all. It's a beautiful little quiet town, Longwarry, and yeah, I said to her, you know, "Oh, so what's there to do in this town?" And she said, nothing to do. Okay, fair enough. Anyway, folks, I'll do some more footage soon when I'm at the service station. Hopefully we have success. Alright. G'day guys, pardon me, I'm down here at Warragul. The pressure washer thing at the service station that I thought had a pressure washer, I was riding past there and I couldn't see anything, so I basically kept going to Warragul. And when I got to Warragul, I was spent, man. I was just gone, and because I'm so fatigued, I'm just not fit. And coming into Warragul, I thought I'll just have a rest. I'll have a late breakfast, and then I'll go find a car wash. Well, best laid plans didn't happen that way, because I rode into Warragul. I found a nice little park with gazebos and barbecues, etc. The usual deal, you know, water and toilet blocks and things, and every man and his dog basically there, and the usual power walkers, etc. So I park the rig in the sun. This is my special. I park it in the sun, and then I go and sit in the shade, and I have a break. But the thing I'm learning very fast is that when you come into a new town that you have not been in before, it's like, you know, everyone wants to come and talk to you, and they take photos. And you know, there was probably 30 or 40 different people that came over to me in probably a 2-hour period. And like, no offense to these people, right? Because we're all curious by nature, especially, you know, new tech. Well, it's not new, but this kind of rig is not something that's been seen here in Australia, as far as I know. And I've been doing a bit of research, so I understand it's a real talking piece, mate, and it really gets people's curiosity going, and they just want to talk. And I'm thinking from now on, before I roll into like a park in a new town or something, I'm gonna have to try and find somewhere before the town and just have a rest.
because, mate, it is on like freaking Donkey Kong. The moment you get in, and you haven't even jumped out of the bloody rig yet, and they're just on you. Oh, I saw you out, and no offense to these people. I'm happy to talk and stuff, but I need a rest. So I need to be a little bit more practical about my energy levels and things, and trying to show people that I am available, which I am, but there are times when I'm just so tired, but I need to understand that this is just not an everyday thing, and people can't help themselves, mate. I'd be one of them. If I saw some guy riding in, I'd be jumping all over him, mate. Oh, what's this, and how do you do this? And so anyway, it's all cool. It just means I need to prepare a little bit better next time, and all that. Anyway, so I was there for a few hours and had a bite to eat. I didn't really have a rest because I was just non-stop talking. And then I had a very important phone call. Not the phone call I was talking to you about the other day, another one probably not quite as important, but could lead into something important. Anyway, I'm digressing. Anyway, when that was done, I realised that if I wanted to have a proper rest, I was going to have to leave this recreation park, which I did. And now because I'm, inquisitive, and I just like going down certain roads, I sort of go a lot of by feeling in terms of finding a place to camp out for the night. I mean, when you subtract the usual suspects, car parks at the back of Bunnings when they've closed, or Woolworths and stuff like that, and the recreation reserves, which are a goodie, if there's nowhere else. But this place I have found here is awesome, mate. I'm going to pan around in a minute and show you. The only thing that comes through here in terms of the general public is there's a walking track. But basically we are here in the industrial area, and there's a walking track from the road through the industrial area, and it keeps going. I don't know exactly where it goes, but I can see some houses in the background here. And I've done my usual trick, you park the quad in the sun, which it's not really in the sun anymore, but that's alright because everything's nearly charged anyway, and I'm sitting here on a park bench. So without any further ado, I'll pan around and I'll show you what is available in a rig like the one I've got in terms of staying away from caravan parks, wiki campsites, because they're just as bad as caravan parks from my perspective. You get a lot of dickheads down there, and quite frankly, they're not the best spots anyway. Anyway, I'll stop rambling. Let's turn it around. Okay, park bench in the shade. Quad kind of was in the sun about 20 minutes ago, but because the sun is that way and the trees are just there, they're slowly getting some shade across there. And here's the walking path, which meanders up to a road, and here's an industrial area with some big grassland. Now this track goes from the park bench, quad there, park bench, and up there it goes into some housing areas, and there's some houses just in there, and then the track also goes up through there. So if you understand my meaning about, when you first roll into a town, you're going to get bombarded. If you're in something like this, you just cannot avoid it. But there comes a time where you need some time alone, some quiet time, and I do. Every single day. I can only do a few hours of that social thing, and then I need to unplug. And areas like this, you might get the odd person power walking through, maybe one every hour or so in the peak hour times, which is before work and after work. But nothing like you would get if you were at a recreation park with barbecues and stuff. And the one I was at earlier on, it had exercise equipment and stuff, and so this, you won't find this on Wikicamps, guys, because these are like little hidden gems, and the only way you can find these things is either by Google Earth or just being curious. like me and just taking a ride around and going, oh, I wonder where that goes, and going sort of by feel rather than map, if that makes any sense, or a nice healthy balance of the two. Anyway, I just found this by chance. I was looking for a shaded spot away from everyone else, and this is what I've got. And I was up at Aldi earlier on. What a harrowing experience that was. And I got all the groceries to last me until next weekend. So I don't have to go anywhere for a couple of days, and I'm thinking I might just stay here for a couple of days and have a bloody good rest, and do some cleaning up on my laptop, and do some things like that. And then by Thursday I'll be fully charged and I'll be ready to go, and I'll go to Warragul, Trafalgar, and then on to Morwell. And along the M1, this is the way I came, which is a freeway, you can actually cycle along there because I saw the signs, cyclists something or other, and almost took a picture of them just in case, if I got pulled over and they said, what are you doing here? I'd go, I'll show you the photo, I'm allowed to be here. But I'm sure they know. Anyway, I'm rambling, guys, but this is what's achievable. You can't get a motorhome in here, right? So that's the difference. Anyway, see ya.